Today we have a 2010 Chevy Equinox. It's LT with a 2.4 motor. The customer has a check engine light, which happens to be a P0010, which is your intake VVT solenoid. We're going to show you where that's located and how to replace it. This is your 2.4 GM motor used in a lot of different applications. We're going to start out by removing this cover right here. And if you look down here, you can see it's got either an 8mm or a screwdriver. So we're just going to use a little 8, use our 1/4-inch drive for the extension like that. Loosen that up. And then we're going to come over here to the other side. We're on the other side now. You want to make sure you pull this out because you don't want to break it. Put that off the side like that. And then we're going to undo this one. We should be ready to remove this cover. All right. Now that should just pop up like that. And this should just pull off. Okay. And you can see it's got these in the back that also hold it. So the cover's off, and I'm going to put a little white grease or something so when you put it back on, they come on off easier. Second step would be take this other cover off. You have to remove this. And you gotta make sure you don't break this. These get brittle. This one's got over 200,000. You gotta be a little careful of that. You don't want to snap it. So just pull up like that, pull up like that. And same type thing right here. I'm gonna put a little white grease on these so they come on and off easier. I like to put the oil cap back on so no debris falls in there. I'm gonna stuff a rag in there like that. Now your VVT solenoid, this is your intake one. And this is your exhaust. They're nice and easy to get at. So all you have to do, since we're doing the intake, you have to push this right here and just pop it up like that. Now you want to make sure you get the proper part. They look like, but they're different, of course. So, and on the bottom down there, I believe there is a 10 holding these down here. If you can see it, there's a 10, and you can see the debris. So we already covered the oil. We covered this. So we're going to get some air. We're going to blow this out so none of that debris falls down inside the motor. After 200-some thousand, it gets dirt in here. There's nothing you can do about that. But so we covered this, covered that. There's no place for the dirt to go, so we're going to spray down in here. That way it won't fall inside the motor, and we'll remove it. I'm just using the 1/4-inch still, but on the bottom down here, there is a 10mm holding this in. So and remove that, and you might have to get a magnet to get that out. Okay, that's loose. My fingers in there. Okay. Put that off to the side. So I went and got this. I mean, you can use vice grips, whatever you happen to have, pliers, but you want to make sure you don't break any of the stuff around here. It's just plastic and it's old, so you got to be a little careful. So I get this down in here. Should fit in there. Like that, go down around there, just wiggle it back and forth, pull it up. Looks like it's loose already. So we're just gonna pull that out, just like that. All right. They look the same, everything's the same height. And we use GM parts, just we've had better luck with those. Not that the other ones don't work, but we've had better luck with the light going off and staying off. So we're gonna use the GM parts, and they're not that much more expensive. You can see there's no debris around there. You want to make sure you don't knock anything out here. They also give you this right here with a bolt already on it. And not that you can't put it in that way, but I do not want to take a chance. I just pull that off, put this in, and then put it in there. So we're going to put this in and line up the hole. Just like that. You can see I'm using the paper towel just so it holds it so I can get it out in there. If you got smaller hands, you can do it, but I just put the paper towel on it, put it in like that, snug it up. Just like that. Remove the paper towel. Last thing we do is take this and make sure it clips in place. Just like that. And sometimes these have, you can see this over here has a lock on it. And like I said, it's a 2010. And this doesn't, I would assume it would have locks on both of these, but for whatever reason it doesn't. So that doesn't apply here. I'm going to put the cover back on. And like I said, we lube those up with whatever you got. White grease, whatever. As you can see, lubed them up. We're going to put that on. Be careful not to break that. there. It should snap in just like that. Now we're going to put the oil back on. And last thing is going to put the other cover on. Start over here. Get this one started like that. And then push this one on. Push the two in the back. It's got to snap into position right there. Clip those in and line up the front. Push it down and oops, pulled it out. Okay, that one, and make sure the two in the back are pushed on. They are. So now we just got to tighten up our 2/8. We just got to go in here, tighten this up. Screwdriver works just fine too, but I always just use a ratchet if possible. Tighten that one up. Come back over here, tighten this one up. Okay, so tight, snapped in, tightened. And that's all it takes to do an intake VVT solenoid on a 2010 Chevy Equinox with a 2.4 motor.